Welcome back, traders and investors. We have Scott Leonard on the line. He is author of The Liberated CEO, which Brianna is going to be giving away a book at the end of the show today. Scott is a registered investment advisor with an office in Nevada and California. He was the founder and owner of Leonard Wealth Management, established in 1996 as an all-inclusive wealth management firm, which became Navigoe in 2013. Scott is a certified financial planner in 2013. He was listed as one of the five most influential registered investment advisor for 2012. His first book, The Liberated CEO, the 9-step program to running a better business so it doesn't run you, published in Wiley in 2014. Scott, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate that wonderful introduction.
Okay, so over the last few years, especially since the financial crisis, a lot of brokers went away, and people are now, turning to registered investment advisors to manage their money. Do you see this trend continuing?
Absolutely. I think it's definitely the trend of the future, and I think it's the final culmination of the evolution of financial services, really on the investment side for the investor. When this industry started a century ago, it really was about just trading stocks, and now it's really evolved to truly a consulting and advice business. And the trading of stocks is really secondary to the whole financial services industry now, in my impression, at least as it is when it's working with clients.
And I've noticed, also in Barron's over the weekend, they talked about that, the massive shift into ETFs and whatnot. Or is that part of your strategies, or does it depend on the investor?
We're certainly a big fan of global diversification, broad diversification, done as cost effectively as possible. While we don't use ETFs, we have no problem with an ETF strategy at all, because it is solving that purpose, getting you broad diversification and really keeping those costs low and manageable.
Okay, so you're more of a mutual fund or more of a stock picker? What's your approach?
Yeah, we actually use mutual funds that do broad diversification and give us a little bit different tilts than you might find in an ETF, maybe following more the traditional academic definitions of some of the different risk factors, as opposed to the index definitions that you're going to find with the ETF products.
And do you use options as all as your part of your strategies?
We do not, no. I certainly see some benefit there, but it's not something that we implement with our clients.
No, not into the options market. So tell us a little bit about your book. What inspired you to write your book?
Well, the book really tells how I designed my business to allow me to take a 3-year trip traveling the ocean with my family on our 50-foot sailboat. And so, as you can imagine, I was telling clients in '08 and '09 that we were preparing to sail away for 3 years. And if you remember what was going on, we're in the midst of this financial crisis. And I'm telling my clients in a financial services firm that I'm going to be gone for 3 years. Now, I came back every quarter and visited with clients, but we didn't lose a single client as a result of me taking this sailing trip. And so the book, really the 9 steps, are the steps I put in place to have really the clients look to the business as opposed to myself to deal with their financial needs and answer their financial questions and help run the day-to-day aspects of their financial lives, so I could go take this just incredibly great adventure with my family.
Okay, and how old were your kids when you did this trip?
God, when we left, our youngest was 5, and then we had 9 and 10. So 5, 9, and 10 when we left.
And did you school them when they were on there, or did you just give them a couple years off?
We figured we'd let the rest of the country catch up. No, just kidding. No, we had a very intensive homeschooling program. My wife was in charge of that. She basically taught every grade from kindergarten through 8, with the exception of 3rd grade over the 3 years we were on the boat. So my hats off to her. She did a phenomenal job keeping the boys educated.
Okay, so you put together this 9-step program. The market's in a financial crisis. Obviously, you had to have some strategies employed. And if you had the wherewithal to just buy and go away, obviously that would have been a great strategy. I mean, what did you do? Did you just, let's talk about, the 9-step program and talk about, what you did just to keep your sanity and keep your clients in the market.
Yeah, there's really two kind of key overriding themes that allowed me to do this. One of them is to really get the clients to look to the business for their answers. So 5 years before I started the trip, it would not be strange if, it would be typical. A client would call up and say, "Can I talk to Scott?" And emails would always be addressed to Scott, and it was always looking for me to solve their answers or be the first point of contact for them. And so one of the broad themes is, how do you change that? How do you get the clients to look to the staff, look to a junior advisor, look to other peoples in the company first and foremost for their questions, especially the day-to-day questions. And the other real part is making myself, the working title of the book initially was Intentionally Irrelevant. And what I was trying to do is make myself irrelevant to the day-to-day operations of the company. It's not hard to do that. I think the hardest thing for a lot of us successful entrepreneurs is the ego around that. That we don't have to be the one everyone talks to, that there are other ways to do things. Our way isn't the only way. And once we get past that, you can start to find the ways to take these clients and get them to, again, look to the organization and not just you. Once that transition's happened, you've really created a lot of freedom for yourself as the owner of the company. The current title, the Liberated CEO. The book isn't about designing your business so you can sail around the world for 3 years. The book is really about getting back yourself as an entrepreneur. A lot of us entrepreneurs, when we start our businesses, we're doing it because we don't want to work for others. We want a lot of freedom. We want to kind of be able to run the show the right way. And then as we become successful, the business really takes over, and we almost become an employee back to our own business, doing all the different tasks we need to do. So a lot of the book is really talking about how you get away from all that day-to-day stuff that frankly, you probably don't want to be doing, but it's really an efficient use of your time. And it was really that process that I went through over about 5 years getting ready for the trip that allowed me to take that trip, and as I said earlier, not lose a single client along the way.
Did you have quotes on the boat?
We had a satellite dish on the boat, yeah, so we had broadband connection the whole way. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so what I'm trying to get at here is that, you obviously left your firm with an investment strategy, right, to navigate these volatile markets, and that they were to implement the strategy in the program in your absence. So, I mean, were you just a buy and hold through the whole financial crisis and add to your position? Or, how did you manage the people's funds? I mean, did you set a 5-year, you said you spent all this time preparing for it. What I'm trying to get at is, what your investment strategy was during that turbulent time.
Yeah, so our investment strategy has not changed since I started the firm back in '96. And so it is a long-only strategy.
Okay.
And it's the classic asset allocation type of strategy, global diversification. And like I said, since we're long only, we're not making a lot of trades in the sense we're not trying to do any timing of the market either. We're just going to be all in with the portion that's in equities and just keep the portfolio at balance. And so that strategy is actually great for a business like ours and for what I was trying to do. Our main goal with our clients, our main purpose with our clients is really to provide them counseling around all their financial issues. As I kind of said in the opening, that the investments is really secondary to what we're doing for them. Once you have a good strategy in place, it's going to kind of run itself. And now we want to focus on minimizing taxes and maximizing wealth transfer to that next generation, and making sure that we don't make silly mistakes along the way. They're going to cost us a lot of money in taxes or whatever else might be the ramifications of doing something a little ad hoc.
Okay, well, just getting to the overall markets here. Nice run up. We pulled back off the old-time highs with your buy and hold strategy. You're just looking at this, sitting through this little pullback here and waiting for the next leg higher.
Well, we're always in, so we're not really thinking about the short-term volatilities of the marketplace. It's in my mind, it's all noise. But more importantly, we truly own the world in a fully globally diversified manner. And so when we think about the Dow or the S&P, that represents such a small percentage of our clients' portfolios. And by owning the world as we do, large positions internationally, developed markets and in emerging markets, and even in the U.S. really small cap micro market and the true value-y stocks, all of that really dampens that day-to-day volatility. Not every day, but most days, so that it's not even that bad for us. And so we're just not as concerned with these daily ups and downs in our clients' portfolios. It's the great advantage of with that long-only strategy. You just don't have to worry about it.
Because of the diversification. So who should read your book?
I think small business owners who are in a service business. It's really designed for the service company. So if you deliver any type of consulting service, the book is really going to resonate with you.
Okay, and what do you hope your readers get out of your book?
What I really hope is they see that there's a way to kind of free themselves from the day-to-day of the business and get back to their entrepreneurial spirits. When I came back from this trip, one of the real interesting things, I didn't take this trip because I was burned out. I took this trip because I really wanted to have this great adventure with my kids when they were young, before they started high school and those things. But I came back so rejuvenated, and I felt like I was 25 again, starting my business as an entrepreneur. And that rejuvenation has just been phenomenal. And I hope that when people read this book, they don't look at it as geez, I've got to go plan for a 3-year sabbatical or something, but maybe a 3-month sabbatical. I really think there'd be a lot of advantage if people took a 3-month sabbatical, rejuvenated themselves, and then also tested their business. There's a lot of advantages to the business to having the owner gone for an extended period of time. And I think that would be something that'd be great for a lot of people to do.
And are you working on another book?
Well, I think we're going to work on actually the book that talks about the sailing trip itself. So my wife and I are probably going to write that book together, kind of a he said, she said story. We find it's kind of funny that I'll be in the middle of telling a story, and she's like, no, it wasn't like that. Yeah. And so I think that's in the works right now.
Okay, well, we'll be looking forward to that. Scott Leonard, author of The Liberated CEO, the 9-step program to running a better business so it doesn't run you. Well, I'm glad we caught up with you, Scott. Have a good trading day, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. Enjoy being here.